Hi. I thought I would come on and do a really quick video on how I make my fake tickets. I just thought that would help because I do plan to use a couple of them in my 3 girl journals. So before I do that and get a lot of questions, I thought I just would make the video ahead of time so that anyone who's interested can make their own, because it's super fast and super easy. Now, I do not have Tim Holtz stamps to stamp on them. I do have a couple stamps that are tickets that also have a plant on them or whatever, and I may stamp these with that. I'm not too sure how I'm going to decorate these yet, and I really would like to get a set of stamps that have the different tickets, and then I can stamp on them. But until then, I still think they're cool, and even absolutely plain, I think they're cool. So I just thought, what the world, I will just show you how I do it. You may already have your own way, and it may be better than my way, but this is how I do it. I first decide how wide I want my strip to be. As you can see, this one here is about 1 inch. This one is 1.25 inches. I personally really like the inch ones. Sorry about the glue all over my hands. I was just working on the girls. And by girls, I mean Eleanor, Gertrude, and Matilda, not the neighbor's kids or anything. So anyway, I cut this one at 1.25 inches, but I really do like the inch. So I'm going to do another inch one. So I just cut a strip off the file folder. If you want the green, if you want the brown, that is just the cardstock paper that I buy at Walmart. That's all that is. But as you see, these are the file folders that I've made Eleanor, Gertrude, and Matilda out of. So that's what I'm using. Then, let me put that away. And I get out my scoring board. You don't need your scoring board. You don't even need the paper cutter trimmer. You can cut it with the scissors. I can't. Maybe you can. I cannot. I'm not going to use the cutting part here. And I will get out my little scoring tool. But I also have the bone folder. I need to score it on here because otherwise they will be as crooked as the day is long. So I need this. But then I decide how long I want them to be. And I believe these are, how long are these? They're 2 inches. And on the craft paper, I always end up with a partial ticket. And I love this, and I purposely do not cut that little piece off because I love to take my smallest numbers and hit the numbers there. And I like to leave that on, but you can remove it if you want. Okay, so now that I know I want mine at 2 inches, so I'm going to score at every 2 inches. And I score pretty hard because I'm going to be folding them back and forth a little bit and making them really loose. Did I do that right? Yes, I did. Okay, we can get rid of the scoreboard now. Then I just fold them. Oh, before I fold them, actually, you don't have to, like here, I did not rough up the edges. I did not distress the edges. On this one, I did distress the edges. I love them either way. Actually, I won't distress, we know that. If you're going to distress the edges, I use this. You don't have to, you can use the scissors. And I do it before I even score it. I do it before I score it. And I like, when I do distress, I really like to distress heavily distressed. Also, I did find, for me, that these cutting tools get really dirty on the inside where the little blade is. So if you're having too much trouble, I just take, like, there's a little tiny paintbrush or a little brush that you get when you buy like hair clippers and things like that, and I just brush that out. But if you're really having a hard time, that does matter. Once they're all clogged up, they're a pain too. They don't distress nice. Is that a thing? Well, you know what I mean. And I do keep spinning mine around because I do know that right now, it does seem these file folders, because they're very cardstocky, pulpy. I don't know what, soft. I don't know, but they really do make a mess. Sorry about the noise. But I'll clean that later. Then after you distress it, then you score it. For this one, because they are wider, I don't know, I still might do a 2-inch. Or you could do a 2 1/4. 2 1/4 actually looks good. Let's try that. I wasn't going to do this one, but now that I made you watch me distress it, might as well. Let's try 2 1/4. Alright, so this ought to be fun. Okay, let's move it. Go 2 1/4. Because math late at night is not my strong point. Math anytime during the day is not my strong point. So we're gonna cheat and just keep moving the paper. And then this one, 2 1/4. I'm just gonna get a tiny little nippy. Okay, no worries. We'll work with what we get. Okay, then it's just a matter of folding using you can use your fingernail. You can use a bone folder. You can use, make sure it's, do a better job keeping it straight than what I'm doing. So you want to use a heavy hand when you're doing this. And then you want to bend it the other way. And then do it all over again. And you want to keep doing that till they're nice and loose. Now, if you are going to use distress ink or oxide ink, which I'm going to, this does really soften those creases up. It really does make them way looser. So don't make these to the point where they're going to just fall apart if you touch them. Because then if you go to put this on, they fall apart. They rip. Okay, but you can already see how much looser they are and easy. So that's really what you're looking for. Complain every time I open that up. I complain because I need a new one. And it doesn't help when you rough edges. It really seems to suck up the distress ink. But That's what I want. And I want them really distressed. And then I also do the creases like this. Do it even more. Yes, that's what I want. Nice dark crease. That's what I'm looking for. And you have to do both sides. But you can see it goes really quick. It really does. Whoop. It really does. So you can make a bunch of these. I should have did this for Mass Make March. Oh, next year. Heads up, next year. Okay, so once you have, because I do hate to make you sit there and watch me just ink. So what I will do is, since I already have this one inked, you can see how I have these little notches out. And of course, this is what I use, the bigger ones. The big one, the one you go to the Dollar Tree and get, or Walmart, it's the normal, I don't even know if that's like a 1/4 inch or something. And you only want to put it in about halfway. Now with these, I even did it in the center. I made mine a little big. You wouldn't have to go quite that big, but they're your tickets. You do what you want. I also had bought one of these at Walmart for $1.29 way back. And I actually, they work pretty nice. They don't work when this is damp from the Distress ink. Then these are a little bit more fussy, but they actually work really nice. And I like that I can look through the bottom and see some of these have this plastic thing on to catch, and I like that. It's less messy, but for me it's a little bit harder to see where I am. Oh, and louder. Much louder. Probably don't appreciate that. So anyway, that's how I get the holes in them. And that's all you have to do to make the fake tickets. If you do have a stamp and you want to stamp while it's still in a straight line, you can do that. Or you can make them, rip them apart, and stamp them separately. But it's that simple. It's really easy peasy, so no excuses. All you need is the ticket. I keep saying stamp, I think, but you know what I mean. You need a ticket stamp. And I'm gonna have to go and order a few ticket stamps. But knowing me, they will be the unbranded ones. So expect that. All right. I just wanted to share that, and hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you in a day or two. And we'll be working on Eleanor, Gertrude, and Matilda. So until then, hugs.